You know that bottle of olive oil sitting in your kitchen right now? We all have one. We buy it, we cook with it, we drizzle it on salads, all because we believe it's this incredibly healthy thing. But what if I told you that most of the olive oil out there is missing the one thing that makes it so powerful? What if that healthy choice isn't really doing much for you at all?
For years, I was using that same, bland, kind of mild olive oil you probably have. I just figured that's what olive oil tasted like. But then I had the chance to try the real deal, fresh from a small farm, and wow, it was a complete shock. This bold, peppery flavor, it was nothing like the cheap stuff I'd been using my whole life.
And that's when it hit me. There's this massive gap between the oil most of us buy and the real, potent stuff. The authentic oil has this kick, this peppery flavor that actually gives you a little burn in the back of your throat. And that burn? That's the sign of quality. The bland oil is, well, it's just missing that key ingredient entirely.
So this gets you thinking, right? What is it that actually makes olive oil so good for us? For decades, the entire conversation has really been about just one thing. It's fat.
When you look at what's inside, olive oil is about 80% monounsaturated fat. The good fat we're always told to eat. And for the longest time, that's where the health conversation just stopped. Everyone just assumed this fat was the sole reason olive oil was so amazing for everything from heart health to inflammation.
But is that really the whole story? I mean, sure, that healthy fat is great for you, but it's not the secret to olive oil's true power. The real magic, it lies somewhere else entirely. Turns out the truth has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. The real source of olive oil's incredible benefits isn't really the fat itself. It's these microscopic compounds found inside the oil that are way, way more powerful.
So it's time to meet the real heroes of this story, a group of incredibly powerful plant-based compounds called polyphenols.
So what are these things? Well, you can think of polyphenols as the olive's own personal defense system. The plant makes these chemicals to protect itself from stress, from predators, from disease, and when we eat them, we basically get to borrow all of those amazing protective benefits for ourselves. And the benefits are huge. I mean, we're talking powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, better heart health, support for your brain, and even anti-cancer properties. Almost every single therapeutic effect we give credit to olive oil for, it actually comes directly from these polyphenols.
Okay. But there's a huge problem. In our modern food system, there's a really common practice that can completely shut down the production of these amazing compounds before the olive even leaves the tree.
So plants have this amazing internal factory for making polyphenols. It's called the shikimate pathway. Just think of it like an assembly line. It takes in some basic building blocks, these amino acids, and uses enzymes to turn them into these powerful, health-giving chemicals. And this is the absolute kicker. Glyphosate, which is the most common herbicide in the world, is specifically designed to block that exact pathway. It's also classified as an antibiotic, which means it basically knocks out the plant's immune system, stopping it from creating the very compounds that make it so good for us. So the math here is pretty simple, and honestly, kind of scary. If an olive grove gets sprayed with glyphosate, those trees just can't produce a lot of polyphenols. That means the oil from those olives, even if it says extra virgin on the bottle, is going to be seriously deficient in the stuff that gives you all the real health benefits. So after all that, you're probably wondering, okay, how in the world do I make sure I'm buying the good stuff? Well, luckily, you don't have to be a chemist to figure this out. The best part is, you don't need some fancy lab. You already have all the tools you need. Real, high polyphenol olive oil has a strong, grassy, potent smell. But the real test? It's the taste. It should give you a peppery, slightly irritating feeling in the back of your throat. That little cough or tingle, that's the polyphenols at work. If your oil is just smooth and bland, it's missing the magic.
So, let's break it down. Here's your simple checklist for your next trip to the store. First, always try to choose organic. That's your best defense against glyphosate. Second, look for the words extra virgin and cold pressed. That just means the oil was extracted gently without a ton of heat, which helps preserve those delicate polyphenols. And finally, trust your own senses. That strong smell and that peppery kick in the throat are your best guide.
So next time you're in your kitchen, go take another look at that bottle. Ask yourself, is this just adding fat to my food, or is it adding a powerful dose of plant medicine? The difference, you now know, is all in that tingle. The choice is yours.